I'm Dr. Anup Kumar. I'm assistant professor here at the Department of Culture and Media Studies, uh, Central University of Rajasthan, India. Uh, Let me share my presentation. Okay, I will be discussing about the navigating the infodemic and disinfodemic, and how we can survive with the help of fact checking, MIL, and technology-based solutions. So, uh, as we know that this 2019 coronavirus disease, COVID-19, has posed critical threats to the public health and the well-being of the citizens across nations. It has been challenging for the governments, public health agencies, and all the stakeholders to deal with the problem. Now, alongside the coronavirus disease, now the flood of fake news around COVID-19, it has further worsened the situation. Now, the flood of fake news on COVID-19 is a major challenge because what it does, it makes it hard and difficult for the citizens to get verified information, adopt appropriate healthy behavior, and make informed decision. Now, this epidemic has been recognized as a global public health crisis. And soon after, the WHO has launched a new platform called EPI WIN to fight the infodemic around COVID-19. So, by creating confusion and uncertainty about vital information that is needed to deal with different aspects of this pandemic. Now, the infodemic, what it does, it actually undermines the global response to public health crisis. Now, it is against the backdrop of the dangers of the fake news pertaining to COVID-19 pandemic. Now, this paper attempts to provide the synthesis of scholarly literature. So as we have this question comes many times, what is fake news? So I will not go into the detailed discussion, but I will briefly discuss about the, so here the important thing about the fake news is the degree of facticity or the falsehood and the intentionality to harm someone. These are two key factors when it comes to defining and classifying the fake news. And the same is with this classification of fake news by Wardle and their action, that is the misinformation, disinformation, and malinformation. So the moment I'm using the fake news, actually here we are referring to two popular notions, that is the misinformation and disinformation. So this is the graph, and this makes make the things here clear. So as the topic is the infodemic and disinfodemic. So here infodemic is basically like it's a blend of information and epidemic, and it's a situation where we have the flood of information that will also contain the misinformation, rumors, etc. And it will be difficult for people to access reliable information from authentic sources and do things accordingly. So infodemic is basically, it can be defined as the contagious disease that actually infect our information culture here. So as this is a very famous statement by the WHO Director General, that we are not just fighting an epidemic, we are fighting an infodemic. So this shows the severity of the problem. It's now a major challenge, because what it does here, because if we do not have access to reliable information, it becomes a matter of life and death in that case. So that is why it's a very, very serious problem here. And that is why we are discussing the topic. So now with this infodemic, with respect to the COVID-19 here, the architect of the WHO's strategy to contain the infodemic, tells the Lancet journal that what is special about this particular situation, that here now we have the social media, and that provides the fertile ground, or we can say that provide the digital infrastructure for the rapid spread of the fake news. And so with the social media networks now and the like virus here, now the information travels faster and faster and further. So here now the challenge is not only to make sure that people are informed, but also that people are informed to act properly, because they are going to adopt certain behavior. And if it is a risky one, if it is a fatal one, then it is going to be detrimental to their health. So that is why making sure that everyone has access to reliable information is very, very essential in this difficult time here. So Again, it is based on the infodemic concept. We have one another keyword here, or we can say the technical word, that is called the disinfodemic. So there came a policy brief from the UNESCO that discusses about the disinfodemic. So disinfodemic is basically here, it's more concern about the deadly or dangerous or negative or harmful impacts of the fake news related to COVID-19. So this policy brief says that it is uh, not the intention that actually demarcate the misinformation from disinformation. It's not intention, rather the effect that is more important here, because here it's like it's more dangerous and deadly. So the fake news on COVID-19 is deadlier than any other topic. I mean, the fake news on any other topic, because it results in the risky and fatal health behavior. So as we can say that it's a more toxic and more deadly than disinformation about any other subject. So here we will be discussing about, so information infodemic is basically having the flood of both kind of information, misinformation, and rumors, all those type of things. But the moment we use the term disinfodemic, that means here it's a more serious in nature here. So as we can say, the flood of misinformation and disinformation around COVID-19. So here we have a report from the Reuters Institute for the Study of Journalism by Brennan and others. So here we can say that, if we classify the fake news, they were actually concerned with the public authority action, and the percentage is given here, the community spread. So this is the kind of theme of misinformation and disinformation when this paper, when the research was conducted. And here we have another this policy brief, and they have identified 9 themes related to the COVID-19 disinfodemic. So that deals with the origin and spread of the virus and different other aspects here. So now, because we have discussed about the infodemic, the dangers of the infodemic and disinfodemic, now it's very essential that we discuss about, it's very necessary to combat the infodemic and disinfodemic. So I'll read again one statement from that particular policy brief, UNESCO policy brief, and that says that access to reliable and accurate information is critical at the best of time. But during a crisis such as the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic, it can be a matter of life and death. So again, here, if you see the information, I mean, having access to quality information is necessary for good health and well-being of the citizens here. So this policy brief again says that fighting fake news and ensuring easy access to quality information is crucial for achieving UN Sustainable Development Goal 16.10, that is the public access to information and fundamental freedoms. And again, this SDG target is also fundamental to achieve other development goals, and most importantly and specifically SDG 3, that is the good health and well-being. So these are some of the reasons why we need to fight, we need to combat the disinfodemic and infodemic, and we need to provide, we need to keep our information culture or information environment or ecosystem safe. So here we are going to discuss some of the preventive measures that actually help us as a citizen to navigate this particular ecosystem and get having access to the reliable information. So first, what I was discussing about the fact checkers, or the ecosystem of the fact checking organizations here. So who are the fact checkers here? Basically, the fact checkers, they counter the lies and the deception, and they promote truth in the public life here. So this is the definition. I will not go into that one. And here we have the models of the fact checkers. So a newsroom model, that means they are, they are actually, they are working within the existing newsrooms, or maybe we can say the legacy organizations. And then we have NGO model. NGO means kind of independent one. So now there is a growing breed of fact checkers. So as there is one study, if you see a report from Brennan, so in response to surge in misinformation about COVID-19, there has been corresponding growth in fact checks as well. So this is another, just for information purpose, like Duke Reporters Lab that maintains the database. So we have almost 306 active fact checking sites. So similarly, we have another IFC and this code of principle, that website, and they have 88 verified signatories. So this is a kind of growing ecosystem. And now, most important thing, how they are going to actually help us in navigating through this infodemic and disinfodemic. So basically, they can help us sort false from true material and accurate from misleading claims. And here, the fact checkers, they help the citizen in making informed decisions, and then they actually save us from the online manipulation and deception. And another important thing is, like, they prepare their reporters or stories, and their stories are based on science driven narratives. They actually take inputs from the scientific experts and institutions. So in a way, they purify our media landscape, which is polluted with fake news on COVID-19, and they help us as a citizen in making sense of the pandemic and choosing COVID appropriate behavior. Then again, very important thing, and that has already also been discussed, that is the literacy. So what I have used here, media and information literacy, that is actually what I see that the strongest defense against the fake news for the citizens. So here, educating the citizen could effectively help in fighting the menace of fake news. So literacy is considered as the proper vaccine against the infodemic. So here, literacy is actually going to help us navigate through these things, because once we are aware about things, once we are here, the target is to make us the critical consumer of the news and information. So we have to be, in our daily day-to-day life, we have to be the researchers and scientists in respect to consuming the information. We have to be, as a citizen, we have to be very mindful or very careful of what kind of information we are actually consuming. We have to be mindful of the sources where actually we are getting the news from. So here, information professionals, public libraries, educators, NGOs, and many other organizations and governments, they are actually playing crucial role, and they are making people media and information literate. So this is just some of the basic definitions here of what is media literacy and information literacy. And so MIL approach, actually UNESCO is also advocating media and information literacy approach as an effective strategy in its fight against misinformation. So when I'm discussing about the literacy, yeah, I mean, mentioning this, I mean, we cannot forget about this particular organization, that is the European Association for Viewers Interest. This non-profit organization is actually, it has prepared the infographics in different languages, explaining different types of misleading news or fake news. And it has also undertaken various other activities on media literacy for citizenship. So this is one screenshot from that particular website. So this is a great initiative with respect to the media literacy. And again, the last preventive measure that I am discussing here, that is the technology-based solutions, and most importantly, it is the artificial intelligence here. So artificial intelligence approaches or other techniques that come under the artificial intelligence, they can significantly help us in various ways. So most importantly, AI can be deployed to identify and classify the news. So whatever we have the large amount of, we have so millions of news related to COVID-19. So the AI system, they can actually help us in identifying and detecting the fake news. So these authors, they deployed the artificial intelligence to identify and classify the fake news on Twitter platform pertaining to COVID-19 in Moroccan context. So the model that was developed by these authors was able to detect fake news with a greater level of accuracy, almost more than 80% of accuracy. Another, group of authors, they also suggest that the deployment of AI could prove to be promising in automatically classifying a piece of information as fake news out of millions of news items. So another important contribution of AI could be with respect to the social bots here. So they are the non-human and automated accounts. They actually play a vital role in creation and rapid spread of fake news. So AI can be used. The social networks, they can train their platforms and they can deploy this technique. And so their system can automatically detect the automated accounts on their social network, so that they can take appropriate actions, they can take it down or whatever it is. So it's already it's been taken, it's being the popular social networking sites, they are adopting these tools and techniques here. And again, as we can see, the Facebook AI system, there is a system for detecting and stopping the spread of fake news. So they have one image indexing and matching system that's powered by AI and that detects the identical fake images. And so with the help of AI, Facebook scale down the fake content on its platform and further adds warning labels, which stop almost 95% users from clicking on it. So it's helping here. Now, and again, as AI is there, artificial intelligence can help us in identifying and detecting the fake news or fake website or fake content at an early stage. And it can also help us in identifying the social bots. Another important contribution of AI could be, among others, it could be in respect to the public health communication. It can be used to educate and inform people. So there is one study by Ahuja and others, and this suggests that AI can be, its power can be harnessed in 4 key areas, that is the drug discovery, development of vaccine, public health communication, and integrative medicine. So here we are concerned about the public health communication. So this study, they have recommended that AI powered and government approved chatbots, they could be deployed to provide credible and authentic news to users on social media services such as Facebook Messenger. So I will read this statement from this study, that if the creation of chatbots can be widely disseminated to educate masses of people across the globe, can reduce panic and markedly curtail the spread of false information regarding COVID-19. So these chatbots would help in dissemination of valid information or reliable information and combating the fake news related to COVID-19 on social media services. So when we are discussing about the infodemic and disinfodemic, it is very important to understand that as social media platforms or as a citizen or as a government, we have to make sure that there should be no information vacuum, I mean, vacuum of credible information. If we leave the platform as it is, then there is going to, the bad actors, they are going to come there and they will actually they will inundate the whole space with the fake content. So we have to actively respond, we have to resist, we have to counter the fake news, and at the same time we have to saturate the information environment or landscape with credible information. So here we can use the AI in different ways, and there are many other ways we can use the artificial intelligence. So now conclusion, I mean, I have discussed this much thing. So to conclude, now these preventive measures that we have discussed, namely the fact checks, literacy initiatives, and AI powered upgrading of social media platforms, they are actually now playing crucial role in detection and deterrence of fake news around COVID-19. So these measures are helping the citizens in identifying the fake news and accessing the valid information from authentic sources for adoption of COVID-19 appropriate behaviors and other necessary actions. Yeah, thank you very much. So this is the end of the presentation.